Hey everyone, welcome to Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. I'm your host, Yanitza Munoz. I'm by myself today, but no fear, I got this under control. Angela and Brian are busy at Green Care Solutions. So Green Talk airs on KCAA, NBC Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Today we have an amazing guest. You guys have already seen him on the screen right now. We have Xzibit. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And for anybody who doesn't know what Green Talk's about, Green Talk is a pop culture and educational cannabis show. We are not doctors, but GCS has doctors for you. Give them a call for any of your Green Care Solutions needs at 951-609-4071. Check out their website at greencaresolutions.com. Also check out greentalknews.com. We are featured in Forbes, Yahoo Finance, and much more. So now let's get in on the show. Thank you, Xzibit.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I know you're a busy man. You have so much going on. Your career has been extremely successful. You started in the music industry roughly around the 90s, and you've had so much success since then, from music, TV shows like Pimp My Ride. You've also been in various movies and other shows like Empire, which is one of my favorite shows. You were in the film X-Files, which is pretty cool. I mean, let's talk about your success. Like, what has the journey been like in the shoes of Xzibit?
Wow, that's a big one. I always tell people that expectation is the mother of disappointment. Mm-hmm. And I also say, underestimation has been the biggest asset of my career. So with those being said, I've never kind of wanted myself to be pinned into a box or fit into a certain, pigeonhole that restricted me from like reaching out and trying to do other things. So it's been crazy to start off in music, something that I love, something that I do very naturally. And then to be able to take that notoriety and then be able to press myself more and then go into uncharted territory with, the first reality shows that came out, with Pimp My Ride and then being able to translate that into, film and other things. It's been quite an amazing journey, and on all of it's been work. But, I can't say that I did it by myself. I have a great team around me. I have a bunch of people that believe in what I'm doing. And so, being able to, bring people in that are good at things that I'm not good at and learning that along the way, it's been a learning experience, but at the same time, it's been very fulfilling.
And you said it really well, too, because there's always like times in your career where you just want to like level up and keep growing. And then things kind of just happen by accident. Like you were in the whole reality game really early on, because in the 90s, mm-hmm. reality TV came to light.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so cool how your career is still really strong, too, because you're also in the cannabis game. You've been on Be Real TV a lot. I also co-produce for Dr. Green Thumb podcast. And nice. I love how recently you were on there and you guys were talking about like new music coming out soon.
Yeah, we got me and Be Real and Dimrick have a group together called the Serial Killers. And usually we drop stuff around Halloween because it's really over the top, like violent gangster music. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so, in light of everything that's been happening, from, all the way from, the pandemic and the racial uprisings and, the political standings of everyone in the country and, the violence and, and on top of that, the economic suffering of what's happening in the States and around the world, it was important for us to use our voices to say something about it. And so we put together a project called the Summer of Sam. It's called, SOS, Summer of Sam, however you want to call it. And we just finished recording it. And so we're really excited about the music. So we're going to drop that right now.
Nice. And, this is such an interesting part of our history because no one's ever really they don't really know how to explain what's happening right now. There's just so many things. Every month there's a whole new thing happening. It's just like so unpredictable, and the pandemic's been very unfortunate, and then things escalate from there. And also with the social justice issues that are going on right now, I'm happy people are speaking up for themselves, and there's so much going on in the world. So I'm really excited to hear what your music's about. It's part of history. Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna be speaking to a lot of people that I feel at this point so many people can relate in so many different ways.
Yeah, look, I'm not a religious guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not a very political guy. I try to stay away from that. and stick to what I know and form my opinions based on that, and really don't speak from a place of being opinionated, but it's really social commentary, the way that this album plays. And, I know Be Real is the same way. And so for us to come out of our comfort zone and say something that is this important in our way is very refreshing to hear, especially for me. I mean, I listen back to it and I'm like, wow, this actually needs to be heard. So I'm excited.
And this is going to drop on Halloween?
No, we usually make them on Halloween,
okay.
but this was a special circumstance, so we're gonna drop it now.
Like we can't wait.
We're gonna drop it as soon as it gets done mixing and mastering. We're gonna drop it, and we just finished mixing yesterday.
Nice. Well, I also heard that you guys were talking about like alien invasion. You never know what could happen in September. You could have been like, I should have waited till October.
That's one of the last things between that and Jesus coming. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. How about that?
Yeah, there isn't so much. I agree. This is an interesting way to bring in the new decade. Yes.
Yeah.
You also brought up a really cool point that nowadays people want to become famous from doing crazy things, right? You brought this on the Dr. Grintham podcast, and I thought this was so on point, how people just want attention and they're using like, I don't know, the craziest things to get attention versus like hard work, talent, or just like showing what they've done with this hard work.
I think attention is the new,
called
like
fame.
currency. It's the new currency. It's people feel like the appearance of success or having a lot of people know about you or talking about you is worth something. Mm-hmm. And, I don't know. I think that people are so desperate because, like now everybody literally has their 15 minutes of fame. Mm-hmm. Regardless, these smartphones that are making us dumb, you know what I'm saying? And everything that is, being portrayed through these lifestyles that are coming on the IG and TikTok and whatever the hell else they got out there. But people are promoting themselves with no products, no, nothing behind it. And it's becoming like this new, like a pattern that people need to follow in order to get to where they think success is. But for me, I've been known for a long time, since the early 90s, like you said. And I must say, the things that really matter to me don't come from being famous, right? Being able to take care of my family, being able to provide opportunities for my friends and family around me, being able to be a productive part of society, being able to express myself through art, mm-hmm. being able to create things that I own and people in corporate America actually deal with me on a certain level because I have a track record of success is important. That's where it becomes in. Nothing about, getting attention, negative or positive, either way, has helped my life. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's what I've been able to do with the opportunities that have helped my life, right? Because we know a lot of famous people, but it's like, how do you progress and make sure that you're using the notoriety to do some greater good,
100%. Very well said. Even in that one song that you made in the 90s, Paparazzi, mm-hmm. you were even talking about stuff like that. Like, people are maybe trying to be famous in the wrong way instead of forgetting why they're doing it. Maybe their passion behind it, or maybe their family. A lot of times people want to make a living for their loved ones, not just to impress someone. So it's very well said.
Thank you.
Yeah. And also, I thought it was really cool how you were traveling so much in Europe, obviously before the pandemic. This pandemic slowed down a lot. And you're traveling so much in Europe. You have a huge fan base in Europe. What is it like when you perform over there?
Oh man, it's amazing. I've been going overseas since, like the beginning of my career. And so being in front of the European audiences, all the way from, you name it, from New Zealand all the way back to Hawaii, and Japan, I've been everywhere. So I think the best part of going overseas is seeing how much hip hop culture has influenced the rest of the planet. And how much respect they have for, the different cultural aspects of what we do in the West and the East and the South and how it permeates through their culture as well. Like when I first started, they were really into the U.S. and the music that we create. But now through the decades, it's been like they've been able to create their own sound and create their own stars and artists. And they still dig at what we're doing, but they have artists that are just as big as our U.S. artists, but in their own right, in their own place. So to be able to see the scene grow up like that, and to see them like believe in themselves like that, I mean, hip hop just it didn't invent anything. It just reinvented everything. Some people know me from music, some people know me from the show, some people know me from other things. But, it all works together, and I've got people on my social media that give me compliments all the time, or thank me for inspiration, or look, everybody that comes on there, whether they like it or not, they've always been really, vocal about what I've been doing. And I listen to them, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm very connected to my fan base. There was a point in time where, there was a middleman. You had to have a label in place, and they did all the interactions, and you had to go through them to get to you. But now that's been out of here. The big buildings have been shut down, and there's only, how you interact with your fan base and how personable can you be with your fan base. That's what these times are all about. So, I feel good because the people that really love and support me have always been, able to reach out and touch me directly since that's been in place. And, I'm very thankful for all of it.
Yeah, no, it's so true what you said, because now with streaming, people can post their music on YouTube. TikTok now is the new jam for, I think, the Generation X, and they're able to push their music out there. So many things have changed now in the industry, and as yourself, you're able to like connect more with your fans. You can like share their stories that they have about you and kind of like interact in a different manner. But what has been your favorite place to perform at in general, anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world? Oh man, I mean.
Like, that's tough.
Amsterdam's always dope. Always, a great crowd in Amsterdam. Germany's always great. Australia, believe it or not, has some really, really, really dope venues. And, like they give it up out there, so, it's going to be between, Australia and Europe, like one of those two places, it always goes up.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Especially when you said Germany, I could just picture Berlin because it's such a huge music culture there.
Yeah,
they probably they must go crazy whenever you perform.
Oh man, those
there.
Big festivals out there, man, hands down, it's just a sea of people, and they jumping up in the air, and the energy's right, and nobody gives a damn about what the clothes they got on. Nobody's there. Everybody's just there having a rage. It's phenomenal.
Yes, I know what you mean. So what's also cool is like you've been on stage with so many other phenomenal artists. I mean, you've performed with Be Real before. You've done music with Dr. Dre, with Snoop Dogg. The list goes on. Who would be an artist if you had the opportunity to collab with? Who would it be? Like, who would pop in your head that you'd want to collab with now?
Ooh.
I know there's a lot now. There's so many artists that are really good too.
Yeah, man. I mean, I haven't really had touchdown in the South much, but I really like to do something with Killer Mike. Nice. I really like to do something with Run the Jewels, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lyricist still. I always say I was a backpack rapper. You know what I'm saying? Coming up, so it's still the same. I still appreciate like driving music, and then also I appreciate the lyricism, when people can be witty and clever and put words together. So, yeah, man, that's where I'd like to go.
I love how on Be Real TV you smoke, and also on the Dr. Green Thumb. What is like your favorite way to smoke? What's your favorite strain?
My favorite way to smoke is flower. I mean, I know there's
which
other
I think
things.
is the safest because at the end of the day, flower's been here for thousands of years. People have been using it for so long, so at least the long term in that could be very safe.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite way to smoke is flower, but I do have, I do have, a nice little edible thing too. I like to get into. It depends, but I prefer flower.
Mm-hmm. Well, here at Green Care Solutions, we have this new label for canna hookahs. It's THC options and hemp options. We also have a CBD option. But what's cool, it has zero tobacco. So if you don't want any of that tobacco, because I know usually hookah has tobacco, this doesn't. So you have the 3 options. You can do hemp. Hemp is more for people that still don't believe in CBD, because I know some people are like, no, CBD is snake oil. We have hemp options. We have CBD options if you're really big about health. And we also have the THC. But we want to give this to you. We'll give it to your manager to send out to you and let us know what you think. We have different flavors. And I don't know if you've ever smoked hookah before, if that's even like a preference of yours.
Nah, I mean, I've seen it before, but I mean, I prefer like rolling up.
Okay, well, we'll send you those too. Yeah, we have a variety of products. We even have like Cbd gummies that are vegan, so no gelatin. If you have any like sleep issues or anxiety, it works wonders. Really helps, like, keep you chill without
That's
any
awesome. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. What's so cool about the cannabis space now is, like, obviously it's recreationally legal in certain states. Here in California, it's completely normal to go seek cannabis for medicinal needs and also recreational needs. We had Berner on last week, and Berner is the founder and CEO of Cookies. He was even talking about how people are like doing knockoff brands of cookies. Stizzy happened to Dr. Green Thumb's brand. So we always tell all of our listeners, be very careful. Don't ever like buy any cannabis from someone's trunk or from a friend that's selling it super cheap, because it's probably fake. And when it's fake, it has like chemicals in it. And that's why people are getting sick. And you hear on the news of, like, unfortunately, kids going to the hospital from vaping because they're not getting real products, getting like knockoff products. I don't know if you've heard anything like this before.
Yeah, no, that hit me in my last brand pretty hard. I was one of the founders of Brass Knuckles.
Nice.
And so, we were like, pre regulations. And so, people were going, haywire with knocking off Brass Knuckles. And, it's like you wouldn't buy, penicillin from somebody out of a trunk, in the alley at 12 o'clock. So, you have to view it the same way. If, you don't go cheap, just follow the rules, because these rules are in place to protect you, the consumer, So, we only sell to licensed dispensaries. There'll be no napalm shipped online or sold in bulk on the black market. We believe in what we're doing here, and we support legal cannabis.
Yes, no, very well said. And I think a lot of times it's like maybe high school kids or college students, and they can't afford maybe that Stizzy pen at $60 or whatever product it is. But, to all the listeners, if you can't afford it, maybe save up for it and do it the right way. Because if you're buying something, like Xzibit said, at 12 a.m. out of someone's trunk, it probably will get you really sick. And it's not even worth it. You're going to think you have COVID or something. It's not worth it.
You're saving a couple bucks, but you're going to lose a lung.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. It's better to be very careful with that. Now with today's culture, we were just talking about like social media, Generation Z and millennials. With that being said, there's like so many people that you say they want maybe attention. So there might be like having like a fake lifestyle on social media. And maybe that's also the toxic part, because they're like, hey, look, I have all this money from cannabis, or I have all this money from this. And it might not be the right image, the right way, because here's cannabis, it's legal, right? But then you have all these people that are kind of making it the reason why it's still not federally legal in all 50 states. It's still like freaking people out.
Right. I think that it's a gift and a curse, what we have with social media. There's a lot of people. I mean, if we got to break it down, let's take it back a few steps. I think that people never post negative things about themselves. Let's establish that first. They only show you the good parts. They only show you what they want you to see. So know that going into it. So, rarely do people talk about how they messed up, or how, they destroyed something, or how something didn't work out for them. Everything's a W, right? Yeah. Okay. So knowing that, people are really getting on these sites and these websites and taking these things personal. Like, your life is so much better than mine, which is really, really a poor mind state to be in. So people who can't think past that are really stuck in this, like, oh my God, look how great these people's lives are, and what's wrong with me. So it's creating this whole,
Spiral effect.
this domino effect of people that really have low self-esteem or feel poorly about themselves because of what they believe or perceive that somebody else's life is like. And then that translates into all other kind of difficult things to try to navigate through. But being that the most negative part of what we have with this new entanglement, is that
entanglement?
That's a new thing.
That's a new word.
We have entanglements all over the internet. So I'm in a place where it's a constant conversation with my peers, my children. This is real life out here.
Yeah.
Out here. Where we actually live in, and how we communicate with this thing it should be centered in that, like the communication of it, the emotional content that is getting driven through this needs to be policed by the people who love and care about you. Like, I don't let my kids, just like go crazy on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to monitor what they're looking at, who they're talking to, what they're looking at, and then also let them know that, look, this is the real world, and this is like online. And online is not to be taken very seriously, because all of this could be manipulated.
Oh, 100%. Right? And it's something about like our, I don't know if it's something with our culture. Like back in the day, we had magazines. It's weird to say that, back in the day, magazines. But even in magazines, everything looked perfect, right? And now we have social media. Everything just looks perfect. So to all listeners, just be smart, question things. And hey, like we just said, don't ever buy any cannabis that seems sketchy, too affordable. And also avoid buying hemp on Amazon that's too cheap. Now, if you go to Amazon, they'll have like hemp 5,000 milligrams. And just to remind everyone, hemp seed oil, if it's that, then that may be something different. But if it's anything like maybe not on Amazon, like CBD that says 5,000 milligrams and it's $5.99, it's not real. Like, you have to kind of do your homework. Stuff like that would be the snake
check,
oil.
guys. Fact check. Read a book.
Read a book, please. What? People don't read anymore. What's wrong?
No. I think look, man, there's something about comprehension. Being able to comprehend, more than having more than 80 word vocabulary, like being able to take information in other than pictures is very important. As crazy as that sounds, you need to read. You need to be able to, not use spell check every time you need to send a text. Like, they're taking the fundamental, ways of building intelligence away from you so you can be programmed. So if you accept the programming, then you will never be able to question what the information is given to you if you have no other sources of information. So being able to read, being able to write with a pen, not just type, is something that it should be important to you personally, because you need to be, at the end of the day, you're the only one that can decide what's right or wrong. And if you have nothing to balance it or check it against, then you're going to be stuck with only being able to receive the information that's given to you. So I always tell people, man, just, fact check. Don't be so triggered. Don't have as soon as you see something, you want to get on the comments. Oh, you are. Man, calm down, keyboard killer. You know what I'm saying? Like, calm down. Did you read what it said underneath the picture, or you just gonna react to the picture? and how opinionated do you have to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like talking about each other's parents and kids, and they gonna F each other up and all that. Like, bro, we're talking about, we're talking about music. You know what I'm saying? Like, calm down.
Mike Tyson posted something about that last week, where it was like, so many people now on social media say things that they can't say to each other's face. He worded it a lot more. Worded it pretty well, but you are preaching the truth. I have to tell you, you are spilling up some good words. Like, this is so real what you're saying.
Good,
Out of all the rappers you've performed with, like I mentioned earlier, you mentioned that who would be a new up and coming rapper. Who has been your favorite in your past? Okay, you're friends obviously with all these rappers like Dr. Dre, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Be Real. You've done some music with him. Would you ever want to do music with any of them again? I know B-Roll, you just did something not too long ago in 2015, but aside from that, would you ever want to do music with any of them again?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. You know, the Aftermath family. I'm always in step with them. You know, just did some music with my man J.O. Felony, also known as James Savage. Just did some music with him like a year or two ago, and so it's been good because I was always able to circulate through, you know, my friends, and you know, as long as we've been friends, and so, you know, we got records together that we haven't even dropped yet. So I think, you know, out of everyone, you know, like Dre has been, you know, has been a brother to me, a mentor, you know, a friend. So, you know, the music that I make with him is very organic and from a very natural place. So I would definitely say I would love to work with Dre again. I think he got one more in him, to be honest. You know, it'd be good. It'd be great to be able to get one more Dre record and then all of us hop on it, support him, and then we go around the world when the world opens back up, you know?
Yes. Oh, that'd be so awesome. You know, it would also really help the economy right now because let's say, you know, it's true because people would be like, oh, I want to spend money. I want to see this show. This is an iconic group up on stage. And
Up in Smoke too.
Yeah.
The world needs it. I think we need it. Let's go get it.
Yes, no, very true.
Yeah,
very
tag
true.
Dr. Dre. Up in Smoke too. We want it.
Yes, let's make it happen. Let's get this economy going. People want to go out.
Let's go. That'll do it.
Yes. That's so
That'll
true.
do it.
Well, I mean, gosh, we'll see what happens. I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, Netflix has had so many crazy shows. People have been glued to television. It's good for people to go outside. So I want to jump on to TV for a second before we end the show. So you were on Pimp My Ride. You were on that show for so long. So many people thought that you were part of West Coast Customs. I know you weren't, but so many people thought you were. Did you ever want to like open up your own shop or do something on the side? Because I feel like you carried that show. You made Pimp My Ride.
I mean, West Coast Customs is a great business. They, you know, they started out in a very small place and ended up in, you know, a very big place.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all got different things from that show. I only bought cars. I know people thought that I was responsible for, you know, fixing the cars on the show, but I didn't touch nothing. I didn't fix nothing. I was in the beginning and at the end, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? And it was a great run. But, you know, there's been kind of a lot of people, you know, trying to ask me if I want to do another car show, which I don't. And if I want to open up a garage, which I don't. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm good at what I'm good at. And, you know, even though that was a point in time that was a really big point and a bright, shining mark in my career, it doesn't mean that I have to continue pursuing that, right?
Yeah.
So I like to build my cars. You know, like I got a couple lowriders. I got a bulletproof vehicle. I'm working on a second one.
That's,
you know, but
you never know nowadays. 2020 is wild. I mean, I'm sure you don't have any enemies.
It was crazy when it was getting it together. Yo, shout out Resvani Motors. You know, we working on the second one now. We got to keep it under wraps, but go check out Resvani Motors. You know, Resvani.com, and you can see the tank and a couple other cars that he has on deck. But you know, no, I mean, if that comes about. That's what I'm saying. If I have to force it, I don't want it.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't want to force anything. It's not genuine anyways. Yeah.
Right. But if it does come about that, you know, some traction starts going, I'm not opposed to it. But, you know, like Pimp My Ride was what it was.
Yeah.
When I put it down, you know, we have fathered a whole bunch of other shows. I like to leave it where it is.
No, for sure. I mean, I 100% agree with you too. Like, you don't want to force it. If it's genuine, it feels right, you're just going to go with it. Because then it'll look natural. It'll look good.
Yeah.
I mean, times are changing. I mean, now Tesla's like killing it in the stocks. They have like cars that you can kind of drive yourself, but who knows? Maybe they will. They're going to be.
Yeah, I don't trust that either.
Right? Because you can't really fall asleep. And what if you do? You don't know who's next to you on your left or right. It's just, I don't know if the technology's there yet. Maybe in 30 years.
Look, all computers can be hacked.
Exactly.
So you driving your Tesla car that's computer driven and barely driving, and then somebody hacks your vehicle. What are you going to do?
And Elon's Twitter got hacked. So did Obama's. Like Twitter got hacked. Did you hear about that a few days ago?
Yeah, if they can hack that Twitter, they can hack that Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Yeah.
that'll be like the new gangster movies. You know how in the past gangster movies, like ones with like the Italians, how they would do things.
Yeah.
Now this would be like their new way.
Yeah, that's their new thing. They computer hackers. Guy got a laptop. You can whack anybody you want.
That's an interesting point. Oh my God. Yeah, I agree. I don't think the technology is there exactly yet. If they can hack Twitter, I don't know. There might be possibility with cars. It's strange times we're in.
You shouldn't be able to get a flying car until you read a book.
Oh, there. Yes. Yes. Can't read a book. Do not drive a flying car.
Yeah, you
100%.
can't do this. No, you're not qualified for this.
Yes. Well, I'm obviously, yeah, so true. So podcasts right now are like the thing. They're like the jam right now for the last 5 years. And obviously going into this new decade, they're going to keep expanding. Is there a podcast right now that you would love to be on?
I see a lot of Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go in there and smoke some pot with him.
Yes, Joe Rogan. Yeah. You know, I'm surprised you haven't been on Joe Rogan. Actually, come to think of it.
I don't know. I'm only accessible to I only come outside when I want to.
Yes, yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure if I put the feelers out there, I can get in touch with him. But we'll see. Yes. Like I said, it'll happen organically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Joe Rogan, he really his podcast too is so organic and raw, and I love that how he's open about cannabis. To all of our listeners, like we mentioned, as long as you're being smart with cannabis, don't smoke and drive. Don't, obviously, no peer pressure, everyone. You have to be an adult, 21 years of age in beautiful United States. But also, you just want to be smart. Know your dosage. Check with a doctor if you're not sure. Do your homework. Like Xzibit said, please read everything. Don't just assume you're going to eat that entire edible and be okay. Like, please be smart.
No, you'll be okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You just won't feel okay. You might feel dead.
Yeah. Worst thing can happen, you'll eat 2 pizzas.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's very true. So everyone that's listening, be smart with cannabis, just like with alcohol, even though cannabis isn't as lethal or dangerous as alcohol can be, but just be smart, do your research, do your homework, know your intake, and contact a doctor if you want it for medicinal use. And also Green Talk by Green Care Solutions has a lot of products for you. You can go to greentalknews.com for any show updates, and you can always shop on greencaresolutions.com as well. So tell me a little bit about the cannabis brand you're working with now.
We have a brand called Napalm, and we launched it. I say about 3-4 months ago. Our first product was the Napalm grenade. It's a 8-gram pre-roll, basically served in a grenade. I got one here, and this is the packaging, and inside of it is the 8-gram pre-roll. It has a ceramic tip, and it's basically 7 grams of flour with 1 gram of live resin added, lift ticket, live resin infused paper. So, I mean, it's literally like, the highest way you can get into, a pre-roll possible. It's like the ingredients inside this, if you broke it down and sold it separately, it would cost you over $200. So, we were great that we attacked each category from Napalm in our own way. So pre-roll was the first category. Now we're going to get into flour and edibles and all that. And it's been such a huge response. We still dealing with back orders. So, people really, really liked it, even though it's a high ticket item. Mm-hmm. We feel as though we only put the best for our people and to our people. So it was a win-win. We got nothing but rave reviews. And so now we're about to start expanding, the line. And it's been really great, man. It's been exciting to be able to come from what I know from my past experiences in cannabis and be able to come to Napalm, in which I own 100%, it's really dope to be able to take all of the knowledge and stuff that I've learned from my past experiences, put it into this brand, make the rubber meet the road, and create disruptive products. That's what it's about.
Nice. And I love that like you just said, like the quality is there, because that's the most important thing. Like when the founder and the creator of something cares solely about the quality, the clients are just going to come easily because they're going to know that you really know what you're talking about and you put like your passion into it.
Right. I mean, as hip hop artists, you always strive to have the biggest and the brightest and the best, and the same things go for when we, find out marijuana. So, being around cats like Be Real and Snoop Dogg and all the, the big dogs, we always try to find the best. Everybody's like, yo, did you try this? This is crazy, And so we've like made it a point throughout our whole careers to be able to look and find and source these best brands and strains and whatnot. And so, if I wouldn't take it personally and use it, then I wouldn't give it to the people that I promote to. So, napalm is just the first inclination of what we're going to go with the rest of the brand. And it's been dope, man. Like I said, the grenade is the first thing, and look out for the next categories we attack from napalm.
Nice, nice. So, a lot of people, Snoop, Be Real. Who would be the ideal person? I'm sure you've already smoked with all these people, but who has been like someone that you really want to smoke with that you haven't already?
Man, I mean, I pretty much smoke with everybody except Willie Nelson.
Oh, there you go.
Like everybody else is pretty much check. Hasn't been there, done that.
Tommy Chong, I'm assuming as well.
Have I? Have I? I don't know. I don't know. I believe. I don't know, but you know what? I'm gonna just put him back in the unchecked column just so I can make sure. Because if I can't remember, that's a good thing. But I'll put him over there too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you've definitely lived a very fulfilled life. You're very successful. You're a great entrepreneur, great musician. I applaud you for that. And you were preaching some very wise words. For everyone that's listening, read a book, please. As he was saying, 100% agree with that. I mean, Kindle's out there. If you don't want to carry a book, you can get a Kindle. You download books for free. There's so much now, so many options, right?
Yeah.
And I have to ask you one last question. Our other co-producer is curious as well. Why did you choose the name Xzibit?
Oh man, that's a good story. Look, I named myself Xzibit when I was it went through a couple changes before it got to Xzibit. So I was 13 years old when I first started writing Xzibit, right? Because I was always on punishment, right? My parents hated rap music. They were very religious. So every time I had a CD or a tape or something, they would break it. So the next best thing to being able to listen to it is to write it yourself. So I would write my own raps and then go to school and battle at lunchtime. There was this kid named Tony and this other taller kid named David, and David used to beatbox all the time. And Tony was like this, he actually was a redhead white boy that always used to say other people's raps off the radio. And so then one day I got the courage to start saying my own stuff in the circle. And it just like, oh, it was one of them moments like, what is that? Oh. And so from there, it was like, I said it was like Exhibit A inside one of the raps. And so I was like, oh, that's fresh. You know what I'm saying? Because when I was first calling myself, I was rapping, I was like MCA. And I was like, oh, damn, that's a record label. And then I was like ICE. And I was like, oh, damn, there's Ice-T and Ice Cube and all Vanilla Ice and all kinds of ices. You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, so Exhibit A popped out. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And back then I spelled it with the E, just like, and then my real name's Alvin. So that's where the A came from. So Exhibit A was the first like rendition of Xzibit. And so then this thing called Ebonics came out where people will start misspelling words and using other letters to spell regular. It just became a mess. So then it was like, okay, so drop the E, use the X and the Z. And then I dropped the A, and then it just became Xzibit. So it grew on as it went. And so finally, by the time I got to rapping with King T and the Alcoholics, it was just Xzibit.
Nice. Oh, that's such a cool story. And I love how you were even like, how do I hide my rap music from my family? And I totally get it. Your family being protective maybe, but hey, at the end of the day, you still got your way, but you got it in a good way.
No, I just think they were trying to protect me from what they didn't think I would comprehend.
Yeah.
You know
Exactly.
We're back to that comprehension.
Yeah.
But I was in love with the artistry of it, with the way that the words, because I knew what they were saying, the words translated to me and how they put the thoughts together. and how easily it can be done within, you can put a whole bunch of thought into one or two lines or words and could get a complete thought across in a very creative way. That's what I was attracted to. I've never made beats. I never played an instrument. But I'm a wordsmith. I love to put together, rhyme schemes, and I love to hear creative ways in order to get say one thing 1,000 different times. That's what's attractive to me. So that's what I fell in love with. And they were, even though they were trying to protect me from a certain lifestyle that they thought I was being exposed to too early, it turned out to be one of the biggest things in my life, and it saved my life to a certain extent.
Yes. Oh, that's such an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Thank you so much for being on Green Talk by Green Care Solutions here on iHeartRadio, NBC Radio, Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, everything. Xzibit, it was an honor to interview you here on Green Talk. Tell everybody your social media handles if they're not already following you.
It's Xzibit on all social media platforms. That's spelled Xzibit, or you can check me out on napalmbrands.com.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so very much. Everyone who's tuning in, check out all that stuff. And again, thank you so much here on Green Talk by Green Care Solutions. I'm your host, Unitza Munoz. Till next time. Adios.